What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're going to do a Setsuko VOD review because he hit rank 1, went on a crazy climb, as you can see, from about 1500 LP to 1700 LP. A very nice, just 200 LP, 11 game top 4 streak. I mean, the guy's just going on an insane streak, and so that puts him rank 1, over 100 LP above Alpha Chi here, rank 2. So you know, you gotta VOD review him whenever Setsuko is going for a crazy climb like this. You gotta watch him because it usually means, one, that we're in a meta that allows you to play, you know, super hard tempo and fast 9 and stuff like that. And two, it means that he has kind of discovered the tech to do that. And I think both of those things are true here. A little bit less so on the fast 9 being, you know, like dominant. I think, you know, these days, people are not as excited to go super fast 9. They're excited to play. I mean, there's a decent bit of reroll in the meta now, honestly, but still, there's a nice variety, right? You can play reroll, you can play fast 9, you can play all this kind of stuff. We start off here with a few things. We do have a void opener, which is interesting, in that we actually do have great void mods. Talking about, you know, our video from yesterday, we do have the spikes, we do have the carapace, I believe. Is the name of it. So a lot of good void mods. But you see Setsuko here actually just saying, I'm going to play around my 2-starred units. I have these 2 bruisers I can play around here. He's looking like he's not even, yeah, okay, he's going to hold Rexa here over the Loris, which is a big surprise, I would say, but maybe not for Setsuko, because he's just saying, like, am I really playing Caitlyn from this spot? I have no glove. I have no Caitlyn's at this point. Probably not. First augment here, immediately rolls the Blood Offering and the Pact. I mean, just not great options. And so he's left with Warpath, Bodyguard Training, Epoch here. I mean, the upside to Epoch is you can get that early bard. It also allows you to, you know, potentially stabilize the board. Bodyguard Training I actually took earlier today, and it felt decent. So that's, you know, something that you can consider if you're in a high econ spot, which we aren't, I would say, really. And then Warpath, I don't know, a pretty inconsistent augment, but when you can think about, we are going to level up here and use our rolls off of Epoch here to get closer to Bard, and to also find a lot of early upgrades. And yeah, we do pick up Bard here on the way. I mean, we're curious to see, like, what board are we actually playing here? Because we're a very upgraded Bruiser plus Slayer board. And I mean, yeah, this is just Setsuko fight tactics. I feel like so many people, myself included, I'd be really looking at playing stuff like the Vayne here, but he's just gonna say, you know what? I 2-starred all the units, put them on my board, and I mean, 2-star units is never going to be a bad opener here, and I'm even going to greed the Bard on this board as well. Could be playing Slayer via, you know, either of the 2 Slayers that we have on bench here, but he's actually opting to just say, you know what? We're just gonna play strongest board with Bard, and we'll see how long he actually wants to play this, because obviously we're gonna drop our streak playing this board at some point, just because people are playing, you know, more actual synergies on their board, and he's actually really considering a slam here to try to allow him to win this fight here. Just gonna slam the belt onto the Alawi, so nothing too crazy here. And it does look like, yeah, he is probably, it's actually really close. It's actually insanely close here. I do think, oh my god, okay, wow, what a fight judged by Setsuko. That's actually, I would have been so afraid that we were going to lose that fight and want to slam something, but no, he just greeds the fight, and he ends up winning it. So I mean, nice job by Setsuko. He also is thinking about, okay, do I want to get out of this Bard? Because I got the Bard essentially for free off Epoch, and it is providing me, you know, minimum 1 gold per round off of the Bard, you know, portal when we win the fight. But if we end up losing our streak, it's going to feel much worse, especially as we get closer to a 4 and 5 streak here. So Setsuko every round kind of having to evaluate, do I want to cut this Bard and play, you know, 3 Ionia, which would be a pretty big buff to this board? We'll see where he wants to go with it. Okay, this is too much zooming in and out. A lot of stuff open here, right? He could go for something like a Kraken if he really wants to play into Ionia really hard. That's gone. I mean, he could make a Gwentsu, I guess. Is actually going to get forced to take maybe the tier here, and yeah, just make very likely just the Spirit Visage. Yeah, I love a Spirit Visage to this set. I feel like he's just a fantastic item. In general, really good onto these, like, just really beefy pure tanks. Stuff like Garen. Garen Spirit Visage, my god, that guy is a monster if you ever get that there. Yeah, just holding this bow over 50,000 different units, but is going to make the call to not slam it finally, hoping that Kiana has enough just damage Raw onto the backline here to win. And yep, he does end up winning this fight as well. So we're on a 4 streak here. I mean, this is just such a Setsuko game. Oh, also Vayne pair here, which we can look at. We do have the bow open for Vayne itemization. So if that's something we want to play towards, we can. And he's still scouting every single person. He sees this person with a really strong board. Oh my god, we're gonna Bebe level it. I saw him hovering over it. He actually Bebe levels and actually rotates into just a full open mismatched socks here, which is so funny. So not a necessary level by any means, because we fought somebody weak. But had we fought somebody strong there, I mean, had we fought Soch King there, like it would have actually made a lot of sense to go for that level, and we still get to make 10 gold here. We're still getting the econ back via Bard, so I don't even hate it. It is a bit of a crazy play, but it's a Setsuko play. But yeah, I mean, who else would play this stage 2 the way Setsuko did? Disregard stuff like the Vayne pair, disregard as well, even with bow open, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna play strongest board here. I'm gonna throw my upgraded units onto the board, and I'm gonna have a good time doing it here. Opts a reforged tier here, and ends up getting a Bramble vest out of it, which is huge actually. Bramble, just one of the best tank items in the game right now because of how heavy AD the lobby is. I've played in lobbies where there are 7 other players playing AD, and so a Bramble vest usually does very well. And we have a Bilge player in this lobby. We will very likely have some kind of like Yunara player. We have this guy who, my god, Bramble. If you ever watched a Tryndamere hit a Bramble vest, it feels amazing as the Bramble vest, because that guy gets beat up by the Bramble vest. Holding on to Draven pair here as well, with the idea that we've actually found these. Oh wow, he's actually gonna sell them. Yeah, so he opts to sell everything here. Wow. Okay. I mean, I'll yap about that, but let's look at augments first. I do love exiles on current patch here. Oh, also let me bring this out and bring this back in so that the bottom thing goes away. I love exiles too much. Yeah. Okay, so a few things. Opted to sell the Draven pair with the idea that, once again, like, we don't actually have the support to play it here. We don't have a quick striker set up here. We don't have a Noxian set up here. So we might as well just continue to play our board, use the Bard, even though it was, a Draven pair, and a Draven 2 would spike us really, really hard and also farm us a ton of gold. Now, Exiles. Why is Exiles so good right now? It's because we are in a backline access meta. There's T-Hex, there's Diana's, both of which are just horrifying anytime you have a backliner that you want to not die instantly. And so Exiles helps a lot with that. Other stuff like defensive itemization onto your carries, stuff like Gunblade and Edge of Night onto your carries is also, I think, fantastic on this patch here. He does have to make the Bard too, once again, just saying, you know what, I want to spike the board. Why not spike the board? And also just the Draven Whisperer finds another Draven that now we can actually hold on to. We'll see if he does want to like roll for Draven at any point, because there is the Draven Fast 9 idea, where if you can get to Draven 2, it's very, very easy to Fast 9. But I think we're going to lose a lot of econ on the way if we do try to roll for a Draven 2 without Draven paired here. Sword and bow open still here. Can look, Kraken is the premier slam out of bow. And then sword, if we do want to play around Yunara, it would be IE. Could also be, just something like a Giant Slayer. It looks like we're going to just go for Kraken here just to guarantee it. And yep, we are going to take that. I mean, never a bad item. Can play it onto the Yunara like we talked about. Can throw it onto the Draven. Can throw it onto Kindred later. Can even throw it onto something like a Misfortune, Lucian Senna. Everybody loves a Kraken. We are going to play 3 Ionia this way by cutting Ari, which is going to allow us, I assume, to sell the Ari and then make Kraken and throw this onto, yeah, we can just put this onto the Kiana here, 2-star, got Slayer and pretty good unit. And then we also have the Aphelios set on this board. So, I mean, just, I don't know, just a nicely played strongest board. Just playing TFT at its finest, going up and down, finding all these different units, adding them. I mean, I feel like almost every single round our board has changed here, which is just, you love to see that kind of TFT. Wow. Opts to make the 1 roll on 7 here and finds a much stronger board here in the Dr. Mundo 2 and the Yunara. So yeah, he said, I have Mundo pair here. There's actually like really good ability for me to spike the board on stuff like Mundo 2 or something else, and the something else ends up being the Yunara, and all of a sudden we can keep this Ionia board. We have the quick striker with the Ashe, and the board looks amazing, and we have a much better frontline in the Mundo. We're going to beat a random Caitlyn 3. Also, Saint's spot looks a little scary there. He has just glove onto Caitlyn 3. I don't know what his itemize. Maybe he's inting, to lost streak for some reason. I would be kind of surprised though. His spot looks, if he's not intentionally losing, that spot looks horrifying. But yeah, now we are starting to stabilize around this Yunara here, and here's where things are gonna get even more interesting, because there are a lot of boards that you can build around Yunara. You know, you're always gonna play 3 Ionia, but you can play up to 5. You can play up to 7 even in crazy scenarios, though that's not as common. You can play the Freljord Yunara, though it's a little bit worse here because we do have exiles, and Freljord plus exiles, it does still work. The Freljord statue does not turn exiles off, but it does mean that you're not able to clump around the statue as well as you normally would be able to. So less likely to see that. Very often you'll see people play this 5 Ionia version. Just very easy to play 5 Ionia. They have built-in Bruiser, and then just to add some extra Ionians to that board, set an easy one to play. You'll often see people play around that, and we'll see if that's what Setsuko wants to go for here. And obviously you have the guaranteed set. I don't quite love any of these. I don't really like a pair of 4s there. I mean, I definitely don't like Staffsmith. I don't think it's malicious. I mean, Swordsmith here, what we have IE. I mean, I just like Swordsmith in spots like these. Yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. And also, wow, the double 5-cost shop. All right, time to roll here. I'm not actually to bring this to 1x speed here because there's a lot to do. And we got Shojin. I mean, Shojin EV is pretty good, actually. Last item for Yunara, and then also a Shojin. All right, we do have a lot of stuff coming in here, actually. We found the Ornn. We're holding on to Ornn pair here, potential Ornn 2, who can fit on this board. We also had Fiddlesticks here. He's gonna, at this point, cut off the Bard and say, okay, I'm done with it. Wow, sells the Mundo 2 here, actually. It's a big loss in frontline for the board here, but saying the board's tanking enough without it. And my God, this Setsuko has a full bench here trying to figure out what he's gonna play, and he keeps hitting all these different splashable 5 costs. I mean, that's the joy about this set here. Finds finally an upgraded unit, but still not too much here, and finds Tark pair on the way. He's just paired up all day, and Setsuko actually, even Setsuko, I feel like a little bit dizzy in this spot, saying I mean, I want to play 5 Ionia, and then after that, we're just trying to let the game give us direction, but the game is giving us too many directions. You can see here, just all of everything in creation here paired up here. I mean, it's just insanity here, but I mean, we can roll again this round here. We have a lot of gold sitting on bench here, so hopefully we can find some upgrades. Wukong 2, a big one. Another Shyvana here. So, ooh, he's considering actually dropping down out of 5 Ionia here, dropping, well, you can't, I guess you can drop the Xin Zhao, yeah, and I guess you have to. Makes the Ornn a little bit awkward, who might not be long for this world. He is going to hold the Ornn on the board, and it's Yunara too, okay. Okay, so this ends up being our board, and this is what I was saying about Ionia, is you're playing around a core of Wukong plus Yunara plus whatever, usually, and in this case it's Shen for Bruiser, and then Ash for Quick Striker, and then a package of Shyvana plus the Swain here for Juggernaut, and for Dragonborn here, and then we're playing the greedy Ornn here, and then the Fiddlestick. So it's literally just threat units for days here. Shojin gonna go into the Shyvana to get her casting faster, so she procs that Dragonborn and gives our team that damage reduction. And the board's decent at this point. Still, you know, kind of a little crazy, and we do actually rotate into a very strong Mess Hall Kaisa board, so we are going to end up losing to that. But the upside is we're farming this Ornn item off Ornn. We only have one more fight after this that we have to survive to get an Ornn item, which will be huge. Wow, that's also Shiv 2, and there's Kindred on Carousel, who are both units that we'd love to pick up. Can't pick up the Shiv, and oh, just barely don't get the Kindred. I feel like if we had taken a closer line, we could have gotten that, but maybe not. But okay, we end up not getting that. So we end up having to take this belt here for Morello's. We need heal cut at this point. We have no armor shred or heal cut going into this. And Fiddle, an amazing applier of these effects. Do you want to just sell the Tariks at this point with the idea that we already have a Wukong 2? I guess the reason to not sell Tarik is there's a very realistic world here where we get our Ornn artifact, we want to cut Ornn, and then we hit Tarik too. He does end up selling one Tarik for Econ here. Okay, that makes sense. With heal cut, this fight a lot easier versus a giant Volibear with the lifting competition. If you guys haven't seen my lifting competition video, I mean, go check it out, I guess. It was a good one. And then, yeah, we just got one more round of Ornn here. Good that we won that fight because we actually get to stabilize on a little bit of HP. But, I mean, this to me is just such a quintessential Setsuko game. And I mean, it's going to get more Setsuko because these are the spots where Setsuko thrives in, these spots where he can go 9. He stabilized the board pretty hard on 8, harder than, you know, normally a Setsuko game. Normally Setsuko is like just stabilizing a little bit on 8 and going fast 9. Also, oh, it's a rough fight to lose, but we do end up losing it. But we can now, you know, still go 9 from this spot. A little bit broke, but eventually we'll make it there. And we do have this Ornn item coming out now. Boom. Ooh, Gold Collector, so good on the Yunara. The only question is, what do we do with this last item? I guess it's DB Shiv. I guess so. It's a tad awkward here. But I mean, Gold Collector, you guys will see this Gold Collector item. If you have not played this on Yunara yet, just absolutely pops. She just does insane work with it. Do pick up Swain too, and we do get our gold sub gold here, which is pretty nice. Ooh, look at this little pivot of the board as well. Yeah, it finds the Draven, and so now he can play this more almost standard version of the comp where you get the Ambessa plus the Draven in, you get Noxus, and yeah, just perfectly pivoted in. Also, still has the 3 Ionia in, and then just makes the last tank item for Wukong here, and a Vow for the Swain. So just double tank items made, saying we got enough damage at this point. We do get T-Hexed because T-Hex is T-Hex, so a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world here. We do have our free Epoch rolls and a decent amount of gold here, so we are going to level and start rolling. Find a Zir, but I'm not really sure that that's coming on the board here. Okay, Kindred a great in. Oh, and Fiddle 2. This is where, I mean, this is where Setsuko starts to go crazy here. Yeah, he was not... He ends up selling the Shiv pair. I think that is the correct call. He was thinking about selling Ambessa pair there, but that seems like insanely greedy. You lose Noxus, you lose Vanquisher. Yeah, I mean, maybe he wasn't even considering that. It looked like he was hovering it for a second, and then he was probably just thinking about, do I just lock shop here? But wants to get the spike right now. Does find Lucian Senna now, which can come in, yep, over the Draven. Only thing is, you know, we end up losing out on the Noxus here in the 3 quick striker, but you only really need 2. 2 provides you the team-wide buff and a lot of the majority of the stats there. But Lucian Senna, just too good of a unit to drop. And so this is going to be more of our board here. So yeah, just, I mean, he makes it look easy. I almost, you know, want to say that, you know, I mean, if you guys, and I'm sure you have been in spots like this before, it's not as easy evaluating every single unit, what should come in here, and once again, evaluating items here. TG versus, you could take less Fiddle. Well, you can't really take less Fiddle. I guess you're taking Crown Guard now, right? Bramble? Oh, Bramble Vest, just going the super Bramble build. Do you ever double Bramble the Wukong here and then just move Adaptive over to the Swain? Ooh, okay. Shiv 2 gets built here. Huge. DB now going to move up to the Shiv, and looks like he is going to spread his Brambles here. Yeah, okay. Makes enough sense. Oh, yeah. I was watching this game live. This is just such a Setsuko thing to do. To be like, yeah, I'm going to move the Vow. And then half a second later, be like, yeah, actually, I'm not going to move the Vow. Also, it's actually pretty rough positioning because our Shiv gets targeted instantly there. We don't have anybody to tank for her. So we actually take a pretty scary start to the fight, but my God, this is the power of this Collector onto the Yunara. Also, just all of these upgrades that we have at this point, just absolutely doing insane work. You can't move the Morello. Maybe you could move Shojin. He's really considering these items. The only thing I don't love about this is Bramble on the Shiv. Like I said, I would honestly consider a double Bramble Wukong here and then just move Adaptive over to the Swain to get him casting faster. But maybe his thought is that even with, like, Vow is going to be 1 cast, and that's usually all you're getting, and Adaptive is not going to get him to 2 casts, which he might be right, honestly. Pick up another dub here. So top 4 locked in for Setsuko, like it was ever in doubt. And at this point, we can think about going 10. There's not much left to roll for. I mean, I say that, and yet, I mean, we still have Kindred 2 left to find. We still have Lucian Senna 2 left to find. This could just be a chill go to, you know, roll on 9 and spike the board. Oh, I guess also, ironically, this is an Exiles game from Setsuko, which if you guys didn't hear I want to say controversy, but it's not a controversy at all. The funny thing that happened at the Paris Open, Setsuko had a game where he actually forgot Exiles and lost some like really crucial placements on it, which, you know, just goes to show even the best sometimes miss stuff like that, especially on like a LAN environment when there's nerfs and stuff like that. There is a Baron, so we're gonna see if our comp max cap that it is can beat off a Baron Nashor here, get that big worm exploded basically out of the way. We will see, because I mean this board is very capped, right? We have almost everything that you could ever ask for in this spot here. He is also just continuing to put Shiv on the edge. I was thinking you need to protect her a little bit, but I guess the more that I think about it, do you need to? I mean, she's a triple item Shiv. I guess he really just wants to make sure that like something like this Trin doesn't immediately aggro onto the Shiv. And this is pretty good here. Takes a while. Eventually the Trin's on the Shiv. The Wukong tanking pretty well here, though we never really aggroed onto it. Yeah, this is actually pretty rough fight RNG. Took us a long time to actually aggro onto the Trin, and at that point, he's got Titan stacked up, he's got Guinsoo stacked up. Gonna roll down one more time here to try to find our last upgrade. Do find Lucian Senna here, and he's gonna move everything now. The DB is going to move down to the Lucian Senna, and then he's going to triple item move the Vow over to the Shiv here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense. Just, you know, getting triple item with our setup now. Yeah, I think it's fantastic here. Do rotate into the Baron Nashor. The board looks pretty scary. We'll see. It is a good Kindred ult, I will say. The Baron is still Baron Nashor, though, and we will die. And it's a top 2, actually, for Setsuko because he preserved enough HP. So, yeah, I just felt like this was just the perfect example of a Setsuko fast 9, cap the board out on 9 game, do all these shenanigans, moving items around, greed stuff like the Bard, greed stuff like the Orange, just like perfectly playing on that knife's edge of greeding enough and then also spiking when you need to. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check my Twitch and Metafy links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always.